Ooh, what is up, Wiz Nation Wizards fans? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Caramingo. It's been a long time coming, but I'm back. And just days ago, the Wizards season is over. It's finally over. We had a good start, and it didn't go as it planned. We've we had a 10 start, and we finished the year 35 and 47 a year. But at least ESPN got it right though. They was win 35 games, 34 games. At least they got it right, but it doesn't matter. We didn't make the playing tournament. I thought we had a chance before at the All Star break. I think we were a game back, but as you know, didn't go as planned. So season's over, but here's what we got in store for the season in review show. Here's what we got in store. We're gonna talk about the Wizards season, the entire season. We're gonna talk about the Wizards upcoming free agents. We're gonna reveal my top 10 wins of the season. At the end of the show, got some shout outs I want to shout out to who watch the show and who I seen at Wizards games, and a special. I got three special announcements for y'all that's coming up next Wizard season and for this show next season as well. So let's start off by from beginning to end of the season. We're gonna do a little rewind all the way back from beginning to the end. So very beginning, like I said, 10-3. That first, if we started with what, 5-1, we just came out like gangbusters in the beginning of the year, especially that first game against Toronto, and like it was New Year. It was forgetting Toronto since the pandemic started. We came out, and I'm like, this team is different, and I mean real different, especially during the start too. We started 1-0, 2-0, at one point 5-1. During the whole start, we were our defense was good. We were coming from behind, from what, 15, 17 down and winning games. We were being clutch at the end. We were basically like, what kind of team is this? I think we were 12-5. I think we were 12-5 going to December. I think December that's when everybody began downhill because we dealt with COVID, players getting not just our player, but the entire NBA, the players, the coaches. It was starting to hit up again. It was this Omicron. It was the Omicron rate. Yeah, Omicron rate, something like that. It started to hit not just the Wizards, but around the NBA. And then we had a rough December, but I thought January was gonna be the month we would turn around because what did we had what a 8 game homestand in that stretch, and we won 3 of them. And I'm like, this is something going on. Something is bad going on. And then it really went downhill. I think once everybody came back, I thought when we came out, like, okay, we're back at it, but it didn't go well. The coach West Unsell started to bench Dale Gaffer for like first quarter and not first quarter, second quarter and fourth quarters of games, and I'm like, what is going on here? But the big standpoint, but turn point of our collapse was that 35-point meltdown that we had against the Clippers. If y'all remember that, when we were up 35 points in the first half, and we fell in the second half, and what happened? Blew it. And then after that, the Bradley Beal injury happened. The Bradley Beal injury happened. He had hurt his wrist against the Memphis Grizzlies, where I didn't see what happened, but like, how did he hurt his wrist? And then he out for 4. He's taking me out the next 4 games, and those 4 games turned into be he's done for the year. And then after the Beal injury, then came the trade deadline. We traded away Montrezl Harrell, we traded away Dinwiddie, Bertans, and in came Ish Smith, Vernon Carey Jr., and the Unicorn, Mr. the Unicorn. It took him a while, it took him like weeks to get back, but when he came in, I'm like, we finally found something in Porzingis. And I thought like we can get back at it, because for the All Star break, I think we were one half back behind Charlotte and Atlanta for the All Star break. But I think after Porzingis' debut, that's when it went downhill. We went on a 4-game road trip. We lost all four. That's when you know it was over. Like they're literally not going to playoffs. But they did finish the season not a lot strong, but a little bit strong. You know what I mean? Like we did brought back my man Thomas Haransky. You remember that name? Thomas Haransky. He played for Wizards for 3 years, from 3 years, 2016 to 2019. Before he left, when he came back, I like he still got it. I hope he stay able to get to him in a moment. But we went what like he had a win record with him in starting lineup in the last couple games of the season. So, and that was pretty much it. No playoffs for us, but we're on the all season. Now, before we get to free agents, I want to talk about not all the players, but some players. I want to evaluate them. You know what I'm saying? Not grade them, but you know what I'm saying? First up, let's talk about the Panda Bradley Beal. Now, I knew coming to the year he wasn't gonna have a like a 30-point Bradley Beal we saw the last 2 years, because we had coming the year we had a deep roster. Before Portland came, we had Dinwiddie and you know what I'm saying, Bertans and Harrell. He had help, and we brought in Kuzma and KCP in the trade in all season. So we can't have scored 30 points every night, but he wasn't the Bradley Beal that we know in the past, because his one weakness was he couldn't shoot threes. He shot like what 27% from the 3-point line this season. So hopefully this summer, we're gonna talk about it in a moment. Hopefully this summer, it, he work on the threes, because early in his career he was known as a shooter. Now he's known as an elite scorer. So Brad, get your 3-point shot back. Now let's talk about the guy who's pretty much the star of the Wizards of the year. That is my man Kyle Kuzma. Now, some Wizards fans, y'all owe this man an apology. Cause I know some of my fans said, like, get him out here. He needs to go in China. I know some Wizards fans and some NBA fans said that as well. But look at it in Wizards. He was our go-to guy in the clutch. He will 2 game winning shots this year, 2 against Cleveland and against who was it? Detroit. Well, it should have been 3 if it was for you know who, DeMar DeRozan. For that, y'all remember that. But Kuzma, remember one straight he scored like what? 8 games straight, he scored 20 points or more, and one game he had like a 20-20 game. So Kuzma, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Because hopefully, if you get the right team behind you, hopefully you come to All Star. Because I believe in you, man. I believe in Kyle Kuzma. Now to the unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I was a fan when we traded for him. I'm like, whoa, we got Porzingis, but he did miss the first 3 weeks of our season. But when he plays, he gives you 21 points a game. He still got it. Like we're straight. I know Dalvin saying, "Oh, we won the trade. We won the trade." Because Dinwiddie over in Dallas, he was being the clutch guy in the fourth quarter for them. He had like 2 game-winning shots for them. And I'm like, all right. But what happened when we played y'all? What happened? We're gonna talk about that later on in a moment. But we'll find out next year if who's the real winner of this trade. Because the real winner is us. So let's talk about KCP. Now, he was slightly okay for us, but I like him. He's a veteran. He's a champion. There's some games where he made big, especially in the beginning of the year, he made big shots for us, and he played well late down the stretch. I think one stretch, I think late in the year, he scored like what 4 games, scored 20 points or more, and I think 1 or 2 times he scored 30. So there are some nights where KCP can go off, but he is our best, one of our best one defenders on the team. So it'll be interesting to see going forward if KCP is there. Now I want to talk about the rookie, Corey Kissberg. He improved big time each and every month. And beginning of the year, I didn't know he was going to be in the freaking rotation. I thought he'd be deep down the bench, you know what I'm saying, just waiting for his time. But December, it was his time. I think one game against, I think we played the Knicks at New York. He scored his first game 20 points, and he got the start too. So I think Corey Kissberg gonna be fine for us. He's gonna be so straight. Because if he could kicking bear as not as a shooter but as a player, he's gonna be a real big for us, and I mean real big. Now another player I'm talking about, Go Gaffer, my man Daniel Gaffer. Now as a starter, he has some moment. I think one game Oklahoma City he had like 8 block shots, but I like him better when he come off the bench because he plays better off the bench than he started. Because starting, he always in foul trouble. So, Gaffer, if you can work on your offensive game and get stronger, you know what I'm saying? Because he kind of a short all season because last season our season ended in June. So the long all season when back in October, hopefully get better, man. Because you're special, man. You're been liking you since you arrived. Now another player I want to talk about, Mora. I know he came in late. He came in mid-January, but can you imagine if he's on our team earlier in the year? You know how our season would have been if he came in like right away from game 1, not game 40 something. You know what I mean? So, but Rui, ever since he came back, he got better and better and better. Now he's becoming a shooter right before our very eyes. And I'm like, he's shooting, knocking down threes with consistency. I'm like, where is this coming from? If he can work on those threes more in the offseason, he's going to be a threat offensively. Defensively, he got it. But if he knocks out threes and that mid-range shot, which is so smooth and beautiful, you know what? We got something. Hopefully, we don't overpay him because he's a free agent, not this year, but next year he's a free agent. Now, everybody who got better was Denny Abdia. Now, Denny, early year, saw he was becoming like he was becoming like an all first team offensive team. Remember, saw one game he put the clamps on Giannis. You saw that? I'm like, okay, like where is this come from? Where it come from? You know what I'm saying? But to me, Denny has to get better offensively. He has to get better offensively. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some games, a lot of games, he missing easy layups. Like Bunny, like the easiest layup he made. He's like right there at the rim, but he's pushing it too damn hard. So defense is straight, but offensively, if you get better offensively, we'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about Danny and Rui for a second. Those two, because which the guys want moving forward, Rui or Denny? Because Rui's free agent next summer, and Denny is a free agent in two summers. So it'd be interesting to see which of those two guys they want going forward in the future. Is Rui? But to me, if I choose one, it's Rui because he's got the skill set to do it. Because we call him, what people call him draft, they call him Kawhi Leonard or something like that. And before we move on, speaking of Denny, congrats on playing all 82 games this season. After your injury last year, your knee injury, and coming and winning all 80 games, and survive the COVID outbreak, that is impressive. Now, and that's pretty much it. That's all I want to talk about. I don't talk about all players, but some players. Now let's talk about the free agents that's coming out this summer. There are a few I'm talking about: Bradley Beal, Thomas Bryant, Howell Neto, Anthony Gill, Thomas Haransky, and Cassius Winston. Now the big question is Bradley Beal? Is he gonna stay, or is he gonna go, or sign and trade? It'll be interesting to see what Brad is going to do. I hope and pray to God that he stays and gets the money, because he's looking at things like, hey, you know what, we can work something here. Because you got Porzingis, you got Kyle Kuzma, you got a big three going on here. It could be a possible big three, and hopefully we get a point guard, like a true point guard on our team. I ain't gonna talk. We're gonna say that another time, but we definitely need a point guard because that's what Ty Shepard addressed it in the X interview and after the trade deadline when we traded Spencer Dinwiddie away. So it'll be interesting which point guard we're gonna get this off season, because that's the one area we need since we let Dinwiddie go and Russell Westbrook. Two guys who are gone is Thomas Bryant and Hal Neto. They gotta go, because once Sato got the starting job, you knew that Neto is time in DC's up. I liked him last year. He was a pesky defender, but his time is up, and you know it. Same for Thomas Bryant. Soon as he got the unicorn Porzingis and played him and Gafford together, you knew Thomas Bryant time was up as well. So I liked him, but that knee injury really hurt him more than anything. I liked him when he first came here. It's been a fun 4 years with our team on our team. But time is up. But you got keep Anthony Gill, because that guy Gill, you got to keep him at sign to do what we did to Harnetta, sign to a veteran's minimum deal, keep him like a year or two, like $5-10 million, something like that. Just keep Anthony Gill, please, because every time he comes in the game, he produces offense like instantly. I'm like, how does he do this? He's on the deep end on the bench most games. When he comes in the game, offense like that. Like, how does he freaking do this? And last but not least, hopefully we keep Sato, because like Bradley says in one of his interviews, we need bigger guards, because Neto and Ish, they're both really small. I know Ish, he locked in for one more year. He signed a tier deal with the Hornets, and we brought him back. So we need to see if Sato's gonna stay or go, because I like Satoransky. He doesn't make any mistakes. When he comes in, like he does what he does, like play his game, becomes a playmaker. So it'll be I think the most interesting offseason time Shepard has come to date. The biggest offseason for Tommy Shepard. So we will see. We'll take a quick break. We're going to talk about my top 10 wins of the Wizards 2021-2022 season. Stay tuned.
He's a better role player in terms than people really realize.
Kuzma will challenge Embiid and throw it down.
I'll give most improved after that.
That got everyone up off their feet.
And we are back. And now for the second part of the show, it's time to reveal my top 10 wins, the 35 wins that we had, where we're doing only 10, of this entire 2021-2022 season. Let's get started. Let's go to number 10, shall we? The season opening win over Toronto. Let me tell you why. Because it was our first 1-start in like, who knows how long it's been we were 1-0. That first game, one of the most impressive opening wins I've ever seen in my 20 years as a Wizards fan. It was the first debut of Harold, KCP, and Kuzma. But the start of the game, that time was my man Trez. Hopefully, change your heart, he comes back. But you never know, but we shall see. But that first game, oh my God. And we blew them out. I had not expected it. We were like huge underdogs against Toronto. Being on the road, their first game in Toronto since the pandemic. But we straight up, and Harold had like 20 points off the bench, and Bill do what he does, and Kuz had a 15-point rebound game. But we won by 15, 16 points on the road. That was one of the best wins that we had. But in terms of season opener. But moving on to number 9. The home opening win against the Indiana Pacers. Let me tell you why. I was there for that game. I said, after that 1-start, I said, you know what? I got to be there for that first game. And it was a fun one. I think Bradley Beal didn't play. It was one of the tightest games I've ever seen in person. And then we got down in the first half. Then we came back, made a game in the second half. We thought we were going to blow them out in the second half. But they came back and we were down 6 twice, both in the fourth quarter and overtime. We left like a minute and 30 to go. But who saved us? Former Wizard Spencer Dinwiddie. He stayed us both times, fourth quarter and overtime, and then late in the not the fourth quarter, overtime. Bertans hit a big three. I got behind once. I was like, no, 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 and then I'm like, what? And then we won by a point. And we started the year 2-0, first 2-0 start since I don't know. I don't remember last time we started 2-0, but that was a huge win. One of the best games I ever seen in person. Let's go to number 8. The Wizards blowing out Dallas. Now, let me tell you why. That game, even though we were not in the playoffs, that was personal. It became personal because we heard Dinwiddie and Bertans talking all that smack. Like we were arguing for minutes and blah, 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 whatever. But we knew Porzingis, Kissberg said, let's go out and whoop there, you know what. And boy, did we did. And we let Luka, who, by the way, is my favorite player to watch, my favorite in the NBA, we let him do what he wanted, but KCP had a monster game. He had a career high, 35, 36 points at night. And Porzingis doing what he do. We had our biggest margin of win of the year. 32 points? Like, so I cannot wait till we're not play Dallas, not in DC, but we play in Dallas. I know Porzingis not gonna have a warm welcome in Dallas. And we're gonna find out next year, who really won the trade. So, moving on to number 7. Speaking of Porzingis, it's his debut against the Pacers. Let me tell you why. Cause when I saw news he's playing, I'm like, we finally get to see the unicorn, Mister. And boy, did he shine in his debut. Scored 25 points in limited minutes. He played 25 points in 23 minutes, something like that. Including one highlight when Sato threw the lob to Porzingis. I'm like, that's what we're looking for. That got me hyped. And I can't even see more and more highs for that next year. Even though we did struggle in the end during the season. We were 2-2 in the year. We lost to them twice in the end. And we beat them. Well, we did twice in DC, but at least we won 2 games and not win 1. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a bad team. But moving on to number 6. Ooh, number 6. The Wizards come behind win against the Hornets. Now, let me tell you why. Because that game was a good one. If you recall, because some fans were not in that game because there was a big snowstorm that we had. And I said to myself, I'm not going to miss out on this. I'm like, screw this snowstorm. I said, I'm not missing this because that was the day before my birthday. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see old boy Melo ball. Because I think we had a good start in that game. And then second quarter, third quarter, we were down, 15 points? Until you know who came through for me. Clutch Kuz hitting those 4 threes in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, he could not ever hear the Kuzma chance, like Kuzma and MVP chance for him. I'm like, oh my God. Like, that tells me that he is a fan favorite in DC. Because everybody loves Kyle Kuzma, including myself. Because I gotta be honest though, I was a little iffy about trade Kuzma. I'm like, all right. But after that, I said, let's work with it. And boy, did he did. That's why we call him Clutch Kuz. Because that game right there, I said, this dude's clutch. Moving on to number 5. The Wizards blowing out the Sixers in DC. Let me tell you why. Because we did lose them earlier in the year. And we got smashed in DC. And we came out. And I'm like, it was an MLK Day. But the one highlight that got me was when Kuzma dunked on Joel Embiid. That got me like I was shocked when I saw it. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, holy smokes. And I believe that was the first win by, remember, our assistant coach was coaching that game. Because remember, our coach had COVID. He missed some time. He missed 3-4 games during that time. And I can't remember his name was, you know what I'm saying? So, we won by 15 points. But at the end of the day, we did blew them out. But at least beat Philly twice, though. That's good. They beat them 2 or 3 times. I wanted to put the one Philly on it, but it didn't make it. Let's move on to number 4. Kyle Kuzma's game winner against the Cavaliers. Let me tell you why. Cause we were down basically the entire game. The entire game. I think we had a good start in the first quarter, and then second quarter on, we couldn't get nothing going until we found news after the game. Because Brad Bill, he wasn't himself. Cause he lost his grandmother during that time, and then he had to miss a few games. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw the play where we were down 2 with about 10 seconds to go, where we thought Brad would go to back, I said, Brad, go to back. But no, he dished out to Kyle Kuzma in the corner, knocked down 3. To me, I was like, oh no. I was like, no. I'm like, then when I'm like, and then you see on my show, I did the Kyle Kuzma. I'm like, that boy is clutch, and that's why we call him Clutch Kuz. Moving on to number 3. Number 3, the Wizards comeback win against Miami Heat. I was there for that game. Let me tell you why. Oh my God. Had a good start in the game. Then it was all Miami in the second and third quarter, and I think we were down 17 points. And you're hearing the "Let's go Heat, let's go." And I'm like, oh no. I was like, this can't be happening. This can't be. And then we shut them up in the fourth quarter. I think we were down 10 with like 4 minutes to go in the quarter, and then KCP knocked down a huge 4-point play. And after that on, we took over the game. And then KCP and Demi knocked down 3s because both of them, I think, both scored 10 points in the fourth quarter, if you recall. And they made some big 3s down the stretch. I remember that game. I was going nuts. The crowd was going nuts. I think it was the first sellout crowd of the entire season. It was one of few, not a lot, but a few sellouts. But that game was like, I really enjoyed that game. Like, you know what I mean? Now moving on to number 2. It was close. It could be number 1, but it's not. Number 2, the Wizards win in double overtime against Boston. Let me tell you why. That game was intense. Okay, we were up basically the entire game in the third quarter and on. Boston, they make a run. Because their game, they struggled from 3. They missed the first, 17, 18 threes, something like that. They couldn't hit a three until they hit one in the fourth quarter. After that, I said, you know what? It's game on. And they were going back and forth, going overtime. I think we could have sealed it in overtime. I can't remember who could have made the free throws. But Beal and former Wizard Dinwiddie came through in double overtime. And then KCP had the big steal down the stretch. And that's when you see my show, right? I did the yeah. That was probably the best intro of the year. Is that and the Kyle Kuzma one? Those were the 2 intros I've done all year. Now moving on to number 1. Number 1 on the list. The Wizards ruining Russ Westbrook's return in DC. Let me tell you why. Because every Wiz fan had that game circled on their calendar when we saw the Lakers. And we're going to welcome back old pal Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple Dub Russ, where I called him last year. And that was the same game with return. We saw LeBron became number 2 all-time leading scorer in NBA history. Now he's behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think he's going to pass that next season. He's like less than 1,000 points shy of passing Kareem next year. So he's going to get that. But anyway, we were on a losing streak. Something like that. We were on like a 3, 4, 5 losing streak, whatever it was. Coming home, playing against the Lakers. And we were down with 13, 14 points. And guess who came through in the fourth quarter? That was Porzingis. He scored like 60 points quarter. And one when he yammed on LeBron James, I'm like, ooh, and I was doing my because every time he dunks, that's when I do my unicorn sound when he does a highlight for us. And I think that was the last, not really before that, even before the Knicks, that was Kuzma's final game of the Wizards this season. But I'm sorry, Russ, we have to ruin your return in DC. But wherever you go, I still support you, man, because you're still in our hearts, man. You're still in our hearts for the Wizards. But should we get you back? No. And by the way, Laker fans, one more thing before I continue. We still won the trade. We still won the trade. Thank you. So, Wiz fans, what was your favorite win of the year? So, just let me know on Twitter, and then we'll talk about it. There's some honorable mentions, but we ain't gonna get to that. I don't got the time. But when we come back, do some shout outs, and the big announcement is here. So, stay tuned.
Heel. Swatted by Kuzma, the volleyball spike. Avdia will lay it up, and Porzingis throws it down.
I'm out of my seat, JK. I'm out of my seat. And this one come down to defense right here. Kyle Kuzma deflating that ball and getting it out to Denny Avdia, throwing the lob to the unicorn for the stuff. And then Denny Avdia touching that up. And the hammer.
Okay, we are back for the final time this season. Now, before we get to the big announcement, I got 3 big announcements for next season. I got some shouts to, you know what I'm saying, to people that, you know what I'm saying, who, you know what I'm saying, who I saw at Wiz games, watched the show, whatever. First off, I want to give a shout out to my good friend who watched the show every day. My good friend Amanda. We went to 3 Wiz games together. We saw the Pacers, the Miami Heat, and who was it? Oh, Atlanta. Like so, wherever I'm at a Wiz game, you know, yeah, it's gonna be, you know, I can invite her to the game at any time. So, also shout out to my 2 boys. Shout out to my man Jeff and Nick, and especially shout out to Jeff because when he won of the games, he had to like sell tickets to me. I said I'll take them. So thank you Jeff for that. Thank you for that. And shout out to Nick because I haven't seen you in like what? It hasn't long been what 3-4 years, and I'm like, boy, you grew. I'm like, did you grow on me something? Because you were just this short. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. And I heard you're gonna be going to college in Virginia Tech at the big right there. So I'm very proud of you on that. So good luck. And also a big shout out to one of the biggest Wizards fans in the game, my man Steven Powers. Now he's been wanting to meet me for quite some time. We finally met. We talked basketball and everything. To me, us 2 together, we're like the GOATs when it comes to basketball in terms of being fans. Like we're the best that there is because we bring that positive energy together. You know what I'm saying? And also shout out to good friend Cash. Like someone that I wanted to meet. She was new. I followed her on Twitter first. And I said, you know what? I can meet her, and we did meet one of her friends, but one of her friends at the game, it was against Atlanta. So hopefully we'll see each other again during next season and possibly Mystic season as well. Cause I do go Mystic as well. So support the WNBA. And also shout out to 2 ladies who are part of the Triple W podcast who I got to see. My friend Becca and Candy. And speaking of Candy, I got the pleasure of being a part of Candy's 5-year anniversary of her show, Country and Couch. That was one of the best times of the year so far. So I'm glad to show her love and support on that. So, and hopefully we'll see each other again during mid-season. And shout out to the other Triple W, my girls Karita and Bree. Keep doing what y'all doing. So hopefully next season your show will be back because I did enjoy the first 2 years, but first year was better because we made a play last year. But this year y'all were like, you know what I'm saying, but busy, and so was I. But keep doing what y'all doing. And another podcast I want to shout out to, the urban sports scene. My boys, Wole, Will T, Ray, Jeezy. And congrats last week, boys, on your 500 show, 500 shows, something like that. Yeah, 500 shows. So I've been supporting y'all since for 2-3 years on the show. So just keep doing it. I love listening to y'all every Wednesday. And here's a little secret to the Earn Sports Scene and Triple Up Podcast. Here's a little secret. Cause it's for basketball season only. Cause that's my doubleheader on Wednesdays. So I Earn Sports Scene first, and then the Triple Up Podcast second. Cause I work, right. Cause when I go to work in the morning, first up, Earn Sports Scene, and before I go home, and until I go home, I just in my car, Triple Up Podcast. So that's my doubleheader for y'all every single Wednesday, only during basketball season. So there's many more to shout, but I ain't gonna get to that because we're gonna run out of time. But it's time for the big announcement. 3 big announcements. Announcement number 1. Remember, you know how after every week's game I do a show for y'all? Well, it's not gonna go, not next season. Starting next season, this show is starting to become a weekly show. So meaning, after every game of the week, like ending Sunday, I will recap every Wizards game there is. So Monday through Sunday, I can do it on Saturdays and Sundays now. So I'm not doing it on weekdays because no weekdays. I work Monday through Friday. So Saturday and Sunday, after every Wizards game, we run through each week of the games. So that's one announcement. Announcement number 2, on Twitter, I'm doing my own Wizards Twitter space. So that's what I'm gonna do. My own Wizards Twitter space. So could be at every game. So y'all can just jump in, talk Wizards basketball. If I have a space coming, you just hop in, just talk to me. You know what I mean? If y'all wanna like do like a group Wizards space, just chat me on Twitter. Just let me know if y'all want to pop in, want to do a group with me for next season with basketball. Just hit me up, all right. And number 3, you know what? After when I go to Wizards games a lot, I'm a huge Wizards fans. I'm gonna be vlogging. I will vlog every Wizards game because in my commentary, I'm vlogging. So it's gonna be a little different. I see people vlog when they go on adventures and all that stuff. So why not do a little vlog for me doing Wizards game? You know what I'm saying? So, just meet the fan. You know what I'm saying? Just vibe with them. You know what I'm saying? Because I love vibing with Wizards fans. You know what I'm saying? Just love the energy, the fan base, the crowd, all that. So it's gonna be different for me, but I cannot wait. So. And for y'all fans who watch the show either this year, last year, year 4, or if you're a day 1 fan who support the show for all 4 seasons, thank y'all. Thank y'all. It's been a long 4 years. Been doing this thing since summer 2018, and we're still going strong. Cannot wait for season 5 of the show, starting when training camp comes in September. And speaking of September, don't miss out. Wizards are going to Japan in September when we play the Golden State Warriors. I cannot wait for that. We have not gone overseas since 2019. I think they were in London, I believe it was, back in 2019. That's gonna be very exciting. Seeing the Wizards playing in Japan, Rui Hachimura's hometown. So it should be very, very exciting. So for the last time this season, thank y'all for watching. Y'all know the deal. Follow me on Twitter at Camingo. Same on Instagram. On Wiz page. Twitter is at Wiz_Nation. Instagram, Nation_Wiz. Next time y'all see me, it's the draft lottery, which is May 17th. You do not want to miss that. So, thank y'all. Good night. Peace.